Well, thank you for joining me here today. I love the fact that you and I have found opportunities to come in contact with each other and spend some time with each other, and especially right now with it being Women's History Month. I'm especially honored to have you join us today.
Well, I'm absolutely delighted and so excited that we have an opportunity to tell a little bit more about what happens with Girl Scouts, and especially Girl Scouts here in Bexar County and through our 21 county area. So I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
So perfect to have you joining us, as you are the highest ranking Latina in the United States Marine Corps in history, and also now the CEO of Girl Scouts Southwest. So tell me a little bit of a parallel of the type of leadership that you learned in the military, and compare that to the leadership skills that are being taught to the young women in Girl Scouts.
Well, leadership, I think, is leadership is leadership. I think that when you're in the military and you wear the cloth of the nation, you know, it's a caste system. But the realities are that it still takes people to practice good leadership, which is an inspiration. It's listening, taking care of your people. It is being compassionate. And I think that people make the perception that because it's authoritarian, that kind of a person doesn't adjust well coming from a military environment into the civilian world. And so a lot of people ask me that, you know, like, wow, that must have been really hard. And I said, you know, it wasn't hard for me at all. But I really think it's about taking care of your people, which is really what Girl Scouts does. I think girls learn early on about caring, about having an environment where they're encouraging and supportive. I think Girl Scouts teaches, and what the young girls learn is that it's also about giving back. Many times the troops will reinvest their money back into the Girl Scouts, saying, we want somebody that can't afford the $25 to be a Girl Scout. We want to pay for a girl. And so, so that's part of the leadership evolution, I think, because young girls then learn to realize that that's important when they become a leader, is to be thoughtful of all those pieces that become part of your community as a leader.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I've heard such wonderful things about the leadership programs within Girl Scouts. So tell me then, what do you feel is one of the biggest challenges for young women and girls today?
Well, the challenge is that you would think that this today in 2020, things would be better than they were 10 years ago or 15 years ago for girls and women. But the realities are that it's actually more difficult today for a young girl to kind of grow up. Texas ranked 42nd. We rank 42nd in the nation when it comes to the well-being of girls.
Wow.
And you know, that talks to health, that talks to home environment, to feeling, you know, just hungry. And of course, recently San Antonio did the status of women. And the status of women really pretty much put San Antonio as one of the worst places for women and one of the most deadly. And so trying to create an environment, starting with girls, if we can figure out what can we do today that will create the environment so that so we in San Antonio can fix it, that we can make it better. And this is what I love about Girl Scouts, is that it's a safe place, but it's resiliency. Girls learn that life isn't always a trophy, that girls don't always get a ribbon just because you showed up. You have to do something, and that's what the badging does and our patches. Everything is earned.
So that brings me to another question as well. You know, as women leaders in our community, what is it that we need to be doing to ensure that we pay it forward to those that are coming up, those that are younger than we are? What do we all need to do?
We have to really embrace this next generation in every program that you possibly can. Now, Girl Scouts has been around for 108 years, and what a great celebration. But the question is Girl Scouts going to be here 100 years from now? And would we, today's women, do we fail the next generation of women leaders by allowing an organization like this to just kind of go away? All three women who were secretaries of state, you know, were Girl Scouts. Nearly every woman who's flown in space was a Girl Scout. So there has to be something about the core curriculum or the experiences that say, hey, Girl Scouts did this for me. And so I think women supporting, and it's not just like I support Girl Scouts, it's really writing checks. I mean, financially, it's so competitive nowadays, I think, for being able to get a donor's dollar, because so many people want to see the needle move today. And I consider us a preventive organization. So we're an organization that investing now means that when a woman does, you know, when she's elected governor of the state of Texas and she says, I was a Girl Scout, when a woman does a significant breakthrough in cancer research and she says, I was a Girl Scout, I tell people, there's your dollar. There's your dollar. It's this gradual, long-term development in her character. It's her long-term belief in philanthropy and giving back to the community and being a volunteer of the year when she's 30 years old or 35 years old. So getting women to embrace girls, because it's tough, but it's financially, it's being a volunteer, it's being a role model. And so Girl Scouts started last year. We decided that for the city of San Antonio, we were going to come together. So it was like the first time ever. Nobody's really reached out to other girl organizations. So we took the lead and we did the Day of the Girl in San Antonio.
Okay.
And it's celebrated every year nationally and internationally. It's called the International Day of the Girl, October the 11th. And so we chose that last year. So we partnered, we invited 7 girl-only organizations to join us and to have this celebration of the girl.
I think that's fantastic, and I think, you know, as women in business and in our community, it really is our responsibility, and I talked about that the other day, of embracing each other and lending a hand, you know, lending that support. And I think teaching that from a young age is what makes the difference as we bring up young women into leadership positions. Well, that I think wraps up our time today, but I can't thank you enough for joining me on, you know, National Women's History Month, and for just spending a little bit of time and getting to know you a little bit better. And thanks for all that you've done for our country and also for our community. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, and we're just absolutely delighted that, you know, the city of San Antonio, Bexar County, you know, we have leaders like you that are great role models for our girls as well. So thank you.
Thank you.